This story takes place in the 1980s, when I was about 13 or maybe 14 years old. It was a summer afternoon in July, and I was hanging out with my friends, about 5 boys and 2 girls, in the park. We sought relief from the heat in the shade of a huge tree, drinking soda from glass bottles. I don't remember exactly who all was there. I only recall that our group of friends, who all lived nearby, was joined by a girl from the other side of town. She was a friend of one of the girls, and her name was Wilma. She was a friendly, cheerful girl with a round face and large, curious eyes. She wasn't with us every afternoon, but when she was, it was always fun, never dull. Well, this was because Wilma lived in what she described as an unusual house. And boy, was that house unusual. Actually, unusual is a huge understatement. Wilma told us that, at first sight, she lived in an ordinary row house, but there seemed to be something going on with the place. It seemed as if the house made its own decisions, led its own life, paying no mind to the inhabitants and their thoughts and feelings. I know that sounds crazy, but let me tell you this. Strange things, scary things happened there. For example, I remember one day Wilma arrived by bike looking pale, distraught, almost lost. She didn't say much. I asked what was wrong, and when she shared what had happened, everyone fell silent. Wilma told us that she had woken up that morning. She went downstairs for breakfast. There, in the living room, the family saw something unsettling. One of the dining chairs was upside down on the table. Her parents looked at each other, and then her mother asked, Who put the chair upside down on the table? No one answered because no one had done it. We weren't fooling around, me and my sister, because we often did. No, this time, it wasn't us. We just couldn't explain it. Nobody could. We just stood there and said nothing, but we all felt the same. This isn't right. Her parents, busy people with well-paid jobs, tried not to pay it any more attention, prepared our sandwiches, kissed us goodbye, and went to work. Wilma said, I had lessons all day, but I didn't learn anything. I just couldn't shake the thought. I only saw one thing in front of my eyes, that chair on the table, and my parents' and sisters' questioning eyes. What happened here? Another day, in December, Wilma told us another strange story. They had spent the evening together watching TV with popcorn. Wilma was allowed to light the candles, 6 candles of different colors on a wooden tray. When it was time to go to bed, her father turned off the heating and checked whether the doors were locked. Her mother blew out the candles. The next day, when they woke up, the family saw downstairs that one candle was still burning. A black one. Wilma said that her mother seemed to be searching for words. That can't be, she said. That would never happen to me. I'm absolutely sure that I blew out all the candles. Wilma had lit them. She had seen that the black candle was almost burnt out and had hardly any wax left. If someone had forgotten to blow out the candle, it would certainly have burnt out somewhere in the middle of the night. The candle would have gone out on its own. Someone from the group said, What are you trying to say? Wilma replied, The candle can't light itself during the night. That can't be. Someone must have lit the candle. Someone or something. We looked at each other. I remember shivering and wondering whether I should be scared or feel pity for Wilma, or both. I already mentioned that Wilma's parents were busy people with demanding jobs. They worked long days and had shifting schedules. Often, when Wilma came home from school, she didn't know if either of her parents were home yet, and therefore, to avoid being locked out, She always had the house key with her. The following incident led to Wilma's parents selling the house where their children were born and raised and that they loved so much. One day, Wilma came home from school. She told us that it must have been around 3 in the afternoon. She unlocked the door and went inside, as she always did. She called upstairs, as often one of her parents was still working in the study. "I'm home. Is anyone there?" she called. Her father responded, "Hi, honey. I'm upstairs. How are you?" Wilma hung up her coat and threw her bag in a corner. She asked if she could have a Coke. Her father agreed. "I'm almost done. I'll be downstairs in a minute." Wilma started on her homework. After 15 minutes, she went upstairs to grab a dictionary, walked to the study, and knocked on the door. When she opened the door, she froze. There was no one there. An hour later, her mother came home, and then at 5 o'clock, her father. Her father had never been home. This incident upset Wilma so much that she no longer wanted to be in the house, in any room. Her sister also experienced strange, inexplicable, and downright eerie things in the house that could not be explained. Coincidentally, around this troubling period, Wilma's father was offered a job in another city. The house, with its unexplainable events, was sold within a week. I no longer remember which city Wilma moved to. I don't remember exactly how old she was. I don't even remember what her sister's name was. I only know that the house they lived in was a place I would never dare set foot in my life.